This movie it's very exciting for us as actors to, first of all, put on a flight suit and a proton pack, but to get to do it alongside the original Ghostbusters, it was really the thrill of a lifetime. And there's, by the end of the movie, there are a lot of flight suits flying around, ghosts flying around, and
critical mass of Ghostbusters.
Streams from the proton packs.
I know our director, Gil Kenan, set out to make a really scary Ghostbusters sequel, and I think he was successful in that. I think the Garaka character in particular is very frightening. I think he has a very scary face, and I think the idea of the death chill is a really great, especially great opener for the film. The fact that you could be frozen and then shatter into a million tiny pieces. Very scary.
People might ask, why do I need to see this movie in a theater? To which I would reply, well, you don't. You don't have to. You could watch it streaming. You could watch it on your phone. Eventually, you could buy a DVD and watch it in any way you want. But if you really want to get the full effect, you should go to the theater because everything's better in a theater and the sound is great. Plus, you can always get some popcorn or some sweet tarts. And
you can feel the special effects are practical, right? So many of our special effects are practical, just like in the original film.
That's right. And you'll really be able to tell when it's blown up in front of you this big. And that's probably why I would say you don't have to, but it would be very cool if you saw it in a movie theater.
If for some reason you haven't seen any of the Ghostbusters films before, which is hard to do, honestly. What I love about this one in particular is that the family is still at the center of the story. There's still the question of how outsiders and misfits can save the world, which I think most of us at some point in our lives feel like we are on the outside of something. And so I think everybody relates to that. And it's funny because we have these amazing comedians as well as the original Ghostbusters. It's scary. We have some really terrifying ghosts and also some charming ghosts that the original fans will enjoy, but the new fans will also appreciate because you haven't seen them before. And generally just a really nice mix of comedy and horror and irreverence, just like the original film.
I think that's one of the fun things about Ghostbusters is that it mixes comedy and scares really well. I think that Garaka is a very frightening villain. Is he in the back? Is he? Oh no, that's the sewer dragon. But that one's also very scary. Imagine that chasing you down the streets of New York.
NYC.
But yeah, I think that there's a lot of unexpected scares in this one between the ghosts and all of the spooky things.
This movie is incredibly fun because you have the original Ghostbusters teaming up with the new Ghostbusters, and you have them sort of like breathe a new life into the franchise, even though that they're the original, people that set the tone for the franchise. It's really nice to have them because it makes people feel like it's a real Ghostbusters movie.
It's pretty intense when every single ghost that the Ghostbusters have captured for like 40 years are all going to be released and wreak havoc on New York City, and there's a massive, giant, crazy demon god trying to take over the world and kill everybody with ice. It's a little tiny bit frightening and a little bit intense, little bit of pressure.
Yeah, please.
You have to experience this movie in a movie theater because you want to hear all the reactions. You want the energy from the other people around you. You want, it's also just really exciting. And being in a movie theater is the most immersive experience you can have with a movie. And so, to see it in a movie theater is the thing that you should do.
You should definitely go see this movie in theaters. It's the best experience ever. And for the fans, I think that you'll love this. I think that there's so much new stuff for everybody to be excited about. There's so many new characters, gadgets, ghosts, but at the same time, we're bringing Ghostbusters back to New York, where it all started. We're back in the firehouse. We have the OG guys with us, but at the same time, there's so many new things happening. So that's really fun. There's so much action. There's a lot of ghosts and scary things. And there's a lot of course, there's a lot of callbacks and references to the originals that you can find and expect. But I don't know, it's a really fun film, and I think that fans and people who are new to the Ghostbusters franchise will both equally enjoy it. But also, it's a film made by fans for the fans.
With Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I felt like it was time to show the real potential of heightened stakes in these stories. And because we were coming back to New York City, because our family of Ghostbusters was going to be facing off against the greatest threat that a Ghostbusters group has ever faced before, there was now the need and the opportunity to go for the jugular. When you face up against a challenge as great as the one that our heroes do in Frozen Empire, it's gonna take every Ghostbuster who can strap up a proton pack to stand shoulder to shoulder to even stand a chance of surviving, let alone saving the world. This required an epic team up of Ghostbusters, old and new, our OGs and our new shiny Ghostbusters teaming up to try to save New York City and the world itself. We made Ghostbusters Frozen Empire to play on the largest possible screen, to create a fully dynamic, seat-of-the-pants experience. It was designed to fill a screen as big as you can find, to have the audience feel as close to the characters as they face off against these extraordinary threats. This movie moves fast. This movie takes you to places we've never seen in a Ghostbusters film, and it has a threat in the death chill that begins to work its way across the city of New York that requires the largest possible canvas. Ghostbusters is just an incredibly rich storytelling universe. It suggests that normal people just like us can come together with a shared purpose, in this case, trying to rid a town of supernatural threats, and make their own tools, figure out their own way in this world, and use their ingenuity and their bravery to go up against the impossible. They're not superheroes, they're just regular folks, but they are incredible at what they do.